there, it's Paul here and welcome along everyone. This is my final part of the box series, part 4, Inlays, etc. Over, to be honest, the last few weeks, few months, I've tried various different things with boxes. I think the first thing that I tried on top was a concho, which hopefully I'll be showing some pictures up here. And I mean, they're only small conchos, 25mm, 1 inch wide, so they could have done with being a lot bigger really. And the very first one I did was put a picture underneath, and then I tried others where I put coins underneath. I've also tried routing out, well, putting a groove in the lid and filling it with epoxy and glitter. And some things have worked, some things haven't. Some people liked them, some people didn't. Again, it's all down to personal taste. So this time I've finally just about finished watching all of Sam Angelo's videos on his channel, and obviously anybody who watches him will know that he does an awful lot of boxes, and unfortunately there's no way with the equipment I've got that I will probably ever do a threaded box. So I do try a lot of other things that he's done and stuff like that. And this time it was an inlay, but of another piece of wood. And I'll hopefully show the pictures up there. I come up with this little box. It's an oak. It's fairly small, and basically it's just over 65mm wide, which is 2.5 inches, and it's about 50mm high, which is 2 inches. And like I say, it's an oak box, and the inlay is from a scrap piece of spalted beech. The spalted beech I actually used was a leftover bit that obviously come off from the chuck, very small, and I managed to just about have enough thickness to get that out of there, plus obviously have a fair bit of spare. So it just goes to prove, save all your waste bits, because you'd be surprised where you can use them. The interesting thing as well was with this piece of oak, I think I shoe it back in part 2 or 3. Again, I may well show a bit of a clip up here. It was that piece of offcut that I'd bought wet from the local sawmill that I'd done a couple of rough turn bowls out of. And what I did there, I rough turned this down to size, took it in the house that day, blitzed it in the microwave on and off throughout the whole day. And the interesting thing as well though is it actually at one point, because I think I overheated it, especially in the lid here, lots and lots of little cracks appeared, and I really did wonder whether I'd actually ruined the whole piece. But in actual fact the weird thing was that after it cooled down a bit, probably about half an hour or so later, and I did carry on microwaving it just to try and keep the moisture going out of it, the cracks just all closed up, and there is no sign whatsoever of a crack on this piece of wood. So I think I left it basically about 2 days from the point of doing the rough turning, and I came out, and that's when I started finishing this off. And I've got to say that I think if you get the chance, and if you do get green wood like that, yes, either box it up and leave it for a few weeks, few months or something like that, so it does fully dry, or alternatively, if you've got something small like that that you can microwave, do it carefully, just enough to keep it warm, just so it keeps getting the moisture out. And I've got to say, the two that I've dried now in the microwave on oak have come up so smooth, it's unbelievable. So when I put the inlay in on the top there, I mean, it was up probably a good 3-4mm above the side of the oak, and I really didn't know what to do with it. So I tried first of all curving the edges over round so it become like a button, almost like a button on top, so it sat totally proud, and I wasn't overly happy with it, so I ended up flattening the whole thing off. And I mean, again, I hope the pictures show it. I mean, the central point of the lid there is probably only about 2mm higher than the actual edge, and I just think that looks absolutely lovely. And the whole thing, just the whole join is just blended in so nicely. So in actual fact, that was actually quite an easy project, and it's the first time I've done something like that with the wood inlay, and I've got to, I mean, in my eyes, that's come off as a really good, successful project. So it just goes to show really of all the different things that you can do with boxes. I've only really covered such a small amount. The proportions in part 1, where I did the really big lid, which was probably about 3/4 the size of the box. Part 2 was the grain, and again hopefully I've got a picture show up there. I've still got it here, because at the same time, because it was wet, I've just left it in the workshop to dry. So, and again, I think that is going to come out absolutely stunning with the grain, because the grain is running across that way like you would have with a bowl. So, and the end grain on these, once they've dried, have come up so well, it really is unbelievable. No tear out or anything. So I honestly think that grain orientation sometimes can really put another twist on a box, and to be honest, anything as a matter of fact you're making. So yeah, also in part 2 I did the rough turning from a wet piece. I mean, I think this was registering from memory probably about 16, 18 or 20% in places. It's been in the workshop now for probably near enough a week. No sign of a cracking, and I suspect, I mean, I have weighed it and marked it up on the bottom, and I suspect that that already has lost a fair bit of weight, because I can actually see that that has already gone out of round by just twisting that 45 degrees. It's already pushed out by about 2 millimeters, 1-2 millimeters. And in part 3 I did a finish turning from a wet turning that I'd done a while ago. I think that was also one that I did finish off in the microwave, and like I say, I was absolutely amazed by that piece of just how smooth it comes out. And all I've done is sanded them to 600 grit, sanding sealer, wood wax 22. And then obviously part 4 was the inlays, which I think you know how much I enjoy. So I haven't recorded everything on this being made. I think the video starts off at the point of where I've already finished the inside of the box out, done the outside, and I was about to just do the inlay itself, and then there's a little bit afterwards. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll speak to you at the end. So what I've got here, I've got a oak box that I rough turned from it was about 20% moisture, and I dried it in the microwave, left it a couple of days, and came out and basically got it finished off to this stage. So the insides are all finished off, outside just needs to be sanded, and now what I'm going to do here is found this piece of Spalted Beech, which was obviously the waste bit left on something. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to use the centre piece of this as an inlay. So I may have enough on here to play with. It's just going to be tight for parting off. I'm going to have to use a thin parting tool. So, and again, obviously Spalted Beech is very soft, so I may well end up resorting to a glue chuck in the end anyway. So I'm just going to face this off first of all, just to get that a nice finish on there. Just basically measure my calipers out at the size I want, so at least I can take this down. basically tapered the back here, so at least when I mount it in the lid it's going to fit in there nice and tight. Right, so I'm just going to take this off with a parting tool. I shall sand it all up and everything once it's on the box. And like I say, we are very wafer thin here, but the good thing is I don't need this too thick, and at the same time as well it doesn't matter if I just go straight across with the back, because I should just probably sand the back flat anyway. And there it is, so I should just sand that flat and that will be ready to go in the box. So this will fit just about where I took the lines out, gone on the line there. So I'm just going to use the ordinary diamond parting tool just to take this down a bit and check that it fits okay. So I'm just basically going to put a bit of PVA on here. And just use that then as a glue plot to put on here. Rub this in here. So this has been left overnight to glue, and it's obviously now in there quite well. So I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm just going to shape this off and see what appeals. Decided to go for the flush edges in the end, and it's just a gentle dome there. I mean, the centre here is probably about 1 to 2 millimeters higher than the outside edge, so just that gentle sweep up across the top. So I'm going to sand this up, and I should come back when I put some sand and sealer on, so that you can just see how this all goes when we get some moisture on there. So that is sanded to 600. And that's come up really nicely. So I'm just going to give it a couple of coats of sanding sealer now. And here we should be able to see what it's going to look like. And I've got to say that Spalted Beech on the top there really has made the piece. So I'm going to let that dry, give it a second coat, and then knock it back with a 600 again before I put some wax on. Right, so that's had a couple of coats of wood wax 22, and I shall just part this off now, probably finish off the bottom with a jam chuck, and then come back to you. Well, that's the first time I've done a wood inlay like that, and I've got to say it's come out really nicely. I am really pleased with that. What I didn't show in the video was obviously all the initial part of the box. I'd actually rough turned this a few days ago and then just basically blitzed it in the microwave over the course of a day and left it then an additional couple of days to dry off. And The lid came out absolutely fine when I did that. The base was okay. I did have a little bit of a problem with the lip. I think when you first see me on the lathe, like with doing the lid, I think I got some kitchen roll wedged in the top there, hoping it was going to be enough, but even that gave way after a little while. So I did actual fact just take the lip down a little bit further and just retook it out a little bit wider, so we have that nice crisp tight fit on there now. And obviously because we've gone down probably an extra, I mean initially I'd gone down about 4mm, so I've gone down about another 4mm, so the grain is out a little bit. But I've got to say I am really pleased with the finished result on there. So I hope you have enjoyed the series on boxes. Obviously I've only covered really 4 things: proportions, grain orientation, wet turning, finish turning and inlays, over 4 parts. And obviously there is probably so many things that I haven't touched on with regard to boxes that I'm sure you're probably already shouting, well, why didn't you cover this, why didn't you cover that? So it's been a really fun series to do. For some reason I just really do love boxes. Whatever shape they are, what size they are, I thoroughly enjoy them, and I should probably carry on doing a lot more boxes. Plus the other good thing is they don't take up much storage space, so in the house they're going to start piling up everywhere. So if this is your first time here, please do subscribe. I put up regular videos, and at least that way you'll get notified every time I upload a video. So for my existing subscribers, as usual, a big thank you as always. I really hope you've enjoyed the series. It really has been enjoyable for me to do, and for some reason I do have a love of boxes, where I'm sure I will be doing an awful lot more. So I'd appreciate if everybody hit the like button, hit the share button, and please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the whole series, what you think of each of the pieces. And I look forward to seeing you on the next project video. Thanks a lot, bye.